River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long.
Right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Niner Nuts. I am Dan, here along with the boys, Jimmy B and Eric. How we doing, guys? We've reached the end of the regular season.
Doing great. Eric Allen, finalist for the Hall of Fame. More interceptions than Deion Sanders.
It's just been a miserable week of football.
It has been. I obviously on these Tuesday episodes we'll talk a little bit more about our game at the very end, but the fun part of the Tuesday episode, recapping what's been going on in the league, and I have that almost ready because we took the week off there. There we go, week 18 recap. And I am not split screening the clock because that broke my computer last time I did it. So
The pressure is on for us, Jimmy.
You were not
45 seconds.
I still have it on here, so you should be able, or well, no, I don't know if I'll wave or something, or I'll mute you. I can mute you when your time runs out.
Hold on.
You have to
stopwatch. Hold on.
Oh no, I want muted. I want played off the stage just like they do.
Like in the Oscars.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
If I have, is there something already preloaded on here that's kind of slow or that's kind of quick? I don't think so. But yeah, no, Eric remembers my computer literally broke last time I did this. So
yeah.
But for us, here we go. Now I got the list up here, and we once again had a doubleheader on Saturday, both of them revolving around the AFC North. The first game is the Browns at the Ravens. This game featured Billy Zappi, and that's kind of all you need to know about how the Browns day went. I thought I was very close to having the spread covered and keeping that part of my ticket alive for a personal bet I did. And then the refrigerator on the Ravens got a pick, and then Derrick Henry scored another touchdown. And I don't know. This game went exactly how I thought it would. The Browns got demolished, and the Ravens, congrats, you won the AFC North. I don't know. Do you guys have more notes on this game than I did?
So after this game, what is this? The 40th quarterback that the Browns have started since their reinception.
Yep.
So I after this game, there was a guy in one of my card groups, card collecting groups, that said he's going to try and collect a card from every quarterback that has played since their reinception. So it's actually I can imagine that's probably going to be a really difficult goal because where can you find a Tim Couch card anymore? A lot of this stuff is probably sitting in packs, so you're probably gonna have to buy packs and open them. So this, I sort of want to.
Boosh. That's how that's gonna have to go because I don't want to break my computer.
I like it.
I do apologize if it sounds like I just tell me if
I saw it. I saw it, so I knew I was being muted. So
yes, I'm gonna do this too.
So Yeah, I mean, like you said, Dan, all you need to know is that Bailey Zappi started the game. He played 2 series, then DTR came in. He played like 3 series, then Bailey Zappi came back in and played the rest of the game. So it was just a complete crap show for the Browns at the quarterback position. It's the biggest thing that they need to address in the offseason. Who knows? Watson is having problems with his Achilles rehab, so who knows if he's even going to be available to start the season. He should never see the field for them again. But Lord knows what they're going to end up doing as far as the quarterback position. But they have to get it addressed with quarterback number 41.
I mean, if only they had if Baker Mayfield at quarterback, you know?
Yeah, if only.
In 2 years, he's a free agent. They could take another swing at him.
I mean, at this point, that might be their plan, is to just buy somebody for next season and then try to get Baker in the following season.
I want to shout out that guy. That's an awesome idea, getting all 40 cards if he can find them.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Is he going to try to get them all in Browns uniforms or just?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like people were saying, like it'll be hard to get them all in Browns uniforms, but apparently that's his goal, to get them all in Browns uniforms. So
that would be an awesome collection. I would like to see that.
Yeah,
that'd be impressive. Oh, and just, oh my God, the last thing, the epic fail I had on that picture with the guy that had all the nameplates, but then it was the survivors. Google definitely failed me when I was trying to figure out that flag. But then again, I didn't exactly give it the right stuff to work with other than blue, purple flag. And they thought it was a pro lesbian flag. And that was just so funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, onward to the next game, the second game of Saturday, the Bengals and the Steelers. Man, the sheen has sure come off of the Steelers as of late. Now going into the playoffs as a wild card on a 4-game losing streak where they had ample opportunity to put away the Bengals, and they just didn't. They had plenty of chances to, and Russell Wilson just didn't. And I don't know. There was a lot of history we witnessed over the weekend, and now we've witnessed a team with a sack leader, a wide receiver triple crown, and a passing yards leader and passing touchdowns leader, if I'm correct, all not make the playoffs. Just what a spectacular fail of a season for the Bengals.
Well, somehow Joe Burrow threw for all these yards, all these touchdowns. Their defense wasn't good, but we're gonna fire the offensive coordinator. That's the situation we're going to do.
I thought they fired the DC.
Did they fire the DC? I thought it was the OC.
Defensive coordinator.
Oh, it was. Okay, so then they did the right thing. But yeah, I mean, yeah, this is I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, nobody wanted Joe Burrow in the playoffs, probably. So yeah, I think them just eking out and not making the playoffs makes everybody in the AFC really happy.
Ooh,
yeah, I watched a good portion of this game, and the biggest problem for the Steelers is that Pickens is bad. I don't know if he's still hurt or if he was just not, I don't know, like mentally into the game or whatever, but he had like 6 or 7 targets in that game, and he dropped 3 balls, I think, and like on 2 of them, he just was completely flummoxed on the route, and Wilson was not in the same page with him. So, I mean, like, that was the biggest detriment, in my opinion, to them in that game, and is going to be the thing that holds them back in the playoffs. Is he has to play at a super high level and really be a number one, or else they're not going to make it very far. Oh, look at that.
Saved you from the mic. Yeah, he was 1 for 7. I remember because it stood out to me. 1 for 7 for 1 yard. Yeah, Pickens sucks. And I mean, the Steelers have a history with bad wide receivers, not bad, drama queen wide receivers, I should say. So it shouldn't be uncharted territory for Mike Tomlin. So onward now to, I don't know why this is. No, we're gonna save that for last because that game's actually exciting. We'll save it for last because it's the most exciting game of the week. So let's go to the Commanders at the Cowboys. Marcus Mariota versus Trey Lance definitely was not the game I was expecting, I thought that we were still going to get Cooper Rush for some reason, but alas, we got Trey Lance. Screw it. Our season's lost. Let's throw him out there, see what he does. And I mean, damn it, he almost won until Marcus pulled off a last-minute comeback. I think it was Terry McLaurin I see here was the game-sealing touchdown for a 23-19 victory. And yeah, feel good that your backups beat their backups. Yeah, you're gonna have a tall task beating the Bucks in Tampa. I don't really have anything else.
So mamas, do not let your sons grow up to be cowboys. Yeah, I saw something. I don't know how true it is, but Cooper Rush was going to be due a bonus for playing 55% of the snaps. And if he would have played this game, he would have hit that bonus of $500,000. But because they held him back, he's not getting paid from what I saw. So the whole reason, don't be a Cowboy, don't play for the Cowboys, like do whatever you can to not be a Cowboy because Jerry Jones is cheap and the team sucks.
You know, I sneaky like this Commanders team. I mean, they made 12 wins this season. That's not anything to sneeze at. And their offense is capable of putting up points in bunches at times. So I think they could get into a real shootout with the Buccaneers. I'd be interested to see that game. I think it'll be pretty back and forth and pretty much a shootout. The Bucs defense has been kind of leaky all season. So I think that the Commanders can score points on them. And if you can get into a shootout with them, I think the Commanders have just as good a shot as anybody. So should be interesting.
I'll save more of my thoughts for that when presumably we'll talk about the playoffs on our Friday episode with the parlay too.
Jaden Daniels really good though.
I'm stoked for that game. I am so excited for that game on Saturday night. You know my feelings on Baker, and I'll gush about him here in a minute when we get to that game. Our next game is the ultimate rivalry: the Bears at the Packers. Oh my God! What else needs to be said about this game other than yes, Christian Watson tore his ACL probably, and Jordan looks like he only got a stinger in his elbow, so they really dodged a bullet there. But of course, the exact same way that the last time these guys played, we're going down the exact same way again, except Santos actually hits this kick. It's the first time they've beaten the Packers since 2018. It's the first time they've won in Lambeau since 2015. It's just a shame that this is the highlight of their season. After London, 9-game losing streak up until now, or 10 to avoid 11. Just yay, whoop-de-doo.
So Smokin' Jay and Caleb Williams, the last two quarterbacks to win for the Bears at Lambeau. So yeah, this is being as the matchup the Packers will have to play as the Eagles. I feel bad that Christian Watson's not going to play. I imagine he would have came away with one reception for maybe 10 yards due to our corners, but hopefully Jordan Love is good to go, so nobody can tell us that we have a weak playoff win
again.
Well, I mean, the biggest news that I saw was the Bears asked to talk to Mike McCarthy about being their head coach.
Oh my God.
I mean, Eberflus isn't even out the door yet, and they're already talking to McCarthy, which I'm not 100% sure that that's a real improvement in the direction that you want to go for your franchise. But, I mean, hey, what do I know? I don't know. The Bears have some pieces there. I do honestly think that if they could get a good coach, like an honest-to-God real head coach in there, someone who can install some real discipline and actually knows what the hell he's doing, I think that team could be something. But until they get that, they're not going anywhere.
I agree. And I swear to God, if they hire McCarthy instead of Pete Carroll, I I'm tempted to give up on this team.
No, what? Ben Johnson should be who should go after. The offensive coordinator for the
I don't like
Lions?
him. I don't like him for that spot.
I mean, but how cool would that be? You have your division rivals offensive coordinator coming into Chicago, and now you have this rivalry of Dan Quinn versus his offensive coordinator twice a year. I think that would.
I don't hate that. It's better than Mike McCarthy, but even if you put Ben Johnson in there, I don't pick him over Pete Carroll. Like, I'm assuming Vrabel's going to New England, so I'm not considering him for Chicago, but like, no, once I saw Pete Carroll and like save the tangent, Chicago needs to be throwing money at him to beg him to come fix Caleb. I think Pete Carroll's culture that he had in Chicago in Seattle would be perfect for Chicago.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And that's the only reason why I don't like Ben Johnson there is because I don't know. I don't think that he's necessarily going to emulate what Dan Campbell has done for the Lions. I don't think he's that same person, right? So, I mean, I think that the Bears really need somebody who can just really grab hold of that franchise and make the culture about them, which is something that a Pete Carroll can do, that a Mike Vrabel can do. That's somebody who has that charisma and that I don't know what the other word I'm trying to come up with can do. And I just don't know that Ben Johnson's really ready for that. I think he needs to go to a franchise where he can just sort of coach and be more touchy-feely.
Yeah. I like that. Anyway, onward now to the Oiler rivalry game. The Texans at the Titans. Oh man, of course the Titans wore the Oilers for this game. Not because it's the last of the season, but of course they did. And they got not smoked, but honestly, the couple bit of highlights I saw on Sunday were enough. I didn't even watch the 10-minute recap of this game. It was ugly. Yeah, Damon Pierce, I see here, had a 92-yard touchdown. I don't know. What else? Do I really need to waste more time on this game? Congrats, Titans. You got the number 1 pick. And Texans, you're going to get smoked by the Chargers in the wild card round. I'm calling that now. No offense, guys. I think the Chargers are going to kill you guys.
Yeah, I think maybe what would be good is the Tennessee Titans, who played in the Houston Oilers uniform, need to actually look at the Canadian Football League, because that was one of the last times they got a good quarterback, because Warren Moon was from the Canadian Football League. so like maybe they need to look there for a quarterback and use the draft pick on something else. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. Are they going to draft Shador? Are they going to draft somebody else? But yeah, I think the Houston Oiler game, that was funny. But yeah.
Big fan of the Houston Oiler classic throwback uniforms, though. I do like to see those. So if they would just wear them all the time, that would be great.
Very slick. I'll agree.
That would make their franchise actually relevant for some reason. So give the Titans credit for what they did. They're supposed to lose and secure that number 1 draft pick, and that's what they did. So good for them. I agree with your sentiment, Dan. I think that the Texans are ripe for an upset. I don't know that I'm going to push all my chips in on the Chargers to beat them, but I would anticipate. I'll have to look. I'll do that during the next segment while you guys are talking. I'll look to see who's favored in that game. But I would imagine probably that the Chargers are favored, or it's a very tiny spread if I had to guess.
Probably tiny spread.
There you go. Yeah, I'm very interested to hear. I would be shocked if the Chargers were not outright road favorites, just because, God, Houston has fallen off a cliff.
I'm going to say Texans favored by 2, but that's what I'm guessing.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking, like a small favor.
Oh, Chargers favored by 2.5.
Ooh.
Vegas is thinking for once with me that the Chargers should be favorites. Like, I don't know. I know I'm not a Texans guy, but like every time I hear about the Texans for the last month, it's, oh wow, they barely won, or oh wow, they got clobbered. I don't know. I think Jim Harbaugh is going to get a playoff win and get to notch that into his unique resume.
That's one way to put it.
Anyway, onward to another AFC South matchup: the Jaguars at the Colts.
Oh,
The team that the Colts seemingly can never beat. I guess only in Florida, because even though they had to go into overtime, they did finally get a win over the Jaguars, which is always way harder than it needs to be. This time on the back of Joe Flacco, and I don't know. This is another game where I'm glad for the city of Indianapolis, my city. The season ended on a high note because it is going to be a long off season. The GM is staying. I'm glad the coach is staying, but Jim Irsay and the GM are staying, and they have a lot of questions that they're going to have to answer to prove that they're not going to be stuck in mediocrity.
So, better free agent landing, is it the Indianapolis Colts or the Jacksonville Jaguars? Because Balky is still the GM.
that's easy.
You don't know who the coach is, and then you have another GM that should have been fired like 10 years ago with a coach that is another Eagles failed offensive coordinator at the head coach position. So where would you rather go if you were a free agent? I don't know. You tell me.
They've seceded a lot of your time.
Yeah. I need to go check the front door.
Oh, okay.
Someone's here. You guys can just go on. I have no thoughts on this game. Both teams suck.
All right, right on. I might not cut that. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Eric.
Yeah.
The next game, he won't care if we talk about this one, because again, it's another clunker in the series of clunkers of Week 18. The Bills at the Patriots. My favorite highlight of this, honestly, was the one play that Josh Allen was in to get the starting credit, handed the ball off, and that's it. Deuces, guys. And like, cool. I'm glad the Patriots wanted to get this one meaningless win for a lot of pride, even though it cost them the number 1 pick, and it probably was the final nail in Jerod Mayo's tenure there. Our Patriots insider gave me a lot more detail that I can get into elsewhere, but yeah, from what he was telling me, he deserved to get fired, and yeah, ultimately losing the number 1 pick was probably why, and deservedly so.
Well, I think going into this game, win or lose, whatever it was going to be, Mike Vrabel was going to be the guy, whether they won or lose this game. So if you're a head coach and you're a little mad at the organization and don't want them to do well, coach your team to win, and that way they lose the number 1 pick.
Just like Lovey with the Texans.
Exactly. Just give it. We'll win. I'm gonna get fired anyway. So good luck with the 3rd pick.
A little bit of a tangent here. I think that black head coaches sort of get a shorter leash than white head coaches do. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I mean, Mayo
seems that way.
Yeah. I mean, Mayo didn't do a bad job with what he got given this year in New England at all. And I mean, he kind of waited out Drake May, gave him a little bit of time. I think he came in week 4, week 5, whatever it was. Coached him up. May looked pretty good all season long. And then, his cupboard was bare for the most part. He didn't have a whole lot. You had the Titans, who had a first-year rookie head coach, who had nothing and did nothing and was terrible all season long, yet he's coming back. You had Dayball, who did nothing, was nothing, who was terrible all season long. He's coming back. Peterson did get fired. But, you've got Eberflus, terrible all season long, did nothing, was nothing, still coming back. I mean, you got Mike McCarthy, who still might be coming back or resurrected in a different franchise still. There's a number of situations around the league. You've got a couple of openings. So it's just, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth, really. But, it's the way that it goes, I guess.
There's definitely some Tom Sula. There's definitely some Flores. There's definitely some who was the coach that got fired from Arizona after 1 year? Wilkes, sorry, our old DC. There's definitely some shades of that in there for sure. Some scapegoatiness. That's what I mean with Tom Sula more than the obvious race card part. But
Tom Sula was not good either.
Well, no,
I wanted to cash in the freaking
with Wilkes and Flores. That's where there's definitely some shades of Wilkes and Flores in this.
I mean, 4 years ago, people were arguing with me who was more qualified for the Giants job, Dable or Flores, and I told them Flores. He was way more qualified, and they put Dable in, and this is what we got after 4 years of Dable. So yeah, I agree with you, Eric. They get a much shorter leash, and Flores went 9-7 with an organization that was trying to have him lose and tank, and he said no, and he went out. Yep. He went 1-6, and then ended up 9-7. That dude's a better coach.
Lovey too. Lovey getting screwed out of Chicago and Houston. He had a decent tenure with Chicago, and he ended on a high note, and then only had that 1 year with the Texans too, and then the guy that got fired from the Lions a decade ago,
Jim Caldwell.
Yeah, Caldwell got shafted too. Caldwell had a 10-win season and got fired. I don't get it. I don't know. It's sad that that's the main takeaway from that game, though.
I mean, what else are you going to talk about in that game?
Yeah,
that's what was crap. We can talk about Josh Allen handing off for one play.
Yeah, that was my favorite highlight. But a game that has a little more fun to it, at least for one of us, the Giants at the Eagles. Oh man, I don't have honestly too much to say about this. I felt bad for that fan that flew 1,000 miles to just be told, yeah, Saquon's sitting this game. Sorry, dude. But no, kudos. The Giants did commit somewhat to the tank, even though came too little too late, and you're keeping Joe for God knows why. I'm glad they're keeping Brian, but Joe, no, just this franchise is only going to go so far with him. But honestly, congrats Eagles. I'm excited to see what you guys do in the playoffs.
I am going to take my victory lap for the Tanner McKee thing that I told you all about.
Yeah.
Here we go, victory lap. Boom.
There you go.
And Dan, you're going to have to bleep this out because screw you, Vegas. I was trying to get that bet all the way up until the beginning of the game, and you would not let me bet it. I was so mad because it was automatic that was going to happen. A lot of people don't know about Tanner McKee, but a lot of people wanted him as the second string quarterback above Kenny Pickett going into the season, and this showing is why he goes out there with third stringers against the Giants, and the Giants are bad, and he ends up winning through 265, 2 touchdowns for Tanner McKee.
That was loud on my end.
I mean, I really have no takeaways from this game other than I'm disappointed that I couldn't bet what Jimmy told us to bet. So, I mean, that was what I wanted to do as well. Giants did their part, lost like they were supposed to, kept themselves there in the mix for a high draft pick. I don't understand why the Giants GM is coming back. That befuddles me as much as it befuddles you guys. I mean, I guess you would bring back Dayball, I guess, but I don't understand why you would keep that GM around. He's made a bunch of boneheaded decisions. That roster sucks from top to bottom, other than Neighbors.
May that clip forever live on from Hard Knocks of Mr. Mara saying, if he goes to the Eagles, he's our most popular player. Yeah, it's just going to keep me up at night if he goes to the Eagles.
Mr. Mara doesn't sleep.
No. Here we go. Here's some exciting games. Now some games that actually mattered somewhat. At least for a little break, then we'll have some more clunkers. But this game, the one I am the most excited about, the Saints at the Buccaneers. I was telling my wife that I was explaining to her that like I'm Baker fanboying this year, and right now they're my bandwagon team until they're eliminated. Then sure, I'll join the Lions. But for now, Baker's my boy, and it was a little scary. I paid most attention to this game. It was a little scary there for a little bit, especially when Bucky Irving ran in a touchdown after the 2-minute warning. And I was like, "What are you doing? No!" But then they got the ball back, and at the last second, literally less than 30 seconds, Mike got his record, 11-1K. Just hashtag 11-1K. Super proud and excited for him. Go Bucks. I hope you do well in the playoffs.
Yeah, I was paying attention to this game too because I was hoping that maybe Atlanta would sneak into the playoffs and that'd be another easy opponent for the Eagles to just whoop their butts. But and you know that Atlanta game, and we were doing Atlanta, splitting it, and we were like, oh my gosh, this might actually happen. And yeah, and then when they got the touchdown, came back and then had, you know, basically 30 seconds left and the Saints had no timeouts. I was like, well, I guess it's the Bucks. But that just means the NFC has a really good playoff class, I think. So
yeah, I don't really fully know what to make of this Buccaneers team. You know, I mean, 10 wins. I mean, that's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but they just seem, I don't know. They don't seem like I don't seem like they're steamrolling people. They seem like they kind of just beat some people. You know, teams that they should easily beat, they don't beat. Teams that they shouldn't necessarily easily beat, they clobber. So I don't get them on a week-to-week basis. They don't have real consistency, I guess, is kind of what I'm looking for. I don't want to play them in the playoffs, though. That's for sure.
It's weird because Wilkes kind of did, but also kind of didn't. Like,
I mean,
like it's yeah, I don't know. I hear you, and I understand why Wilkes got fired, but I don't know. Wilkes was weird, like especially looking now. Like, there's a lot of things that Wilkes did a lot better than Sorensen. So like, if we don't let Nick Sorensen go, but we let Wilkes go, that's gonna look weird.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad that you gave up 4 touchdowns post Call of Duty Black Ops to Kyler Murray. You know, that's pretty sad.
Yeah,
and he wasn't doing homework on the 49ers. You know,
and we've got Brandon Staley sitting on our defensive roster, you know, coaching roster, doing what? I don't know, but he's there.
If we can retain him.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, well, but what did he do this season? I mean, like, I don't know. What did, I don't know. I mean,
supposedly he was sitting in on meetings with Sorensen. Supposedly.
I mean, our corners and our safeties, I thought, played really well this season as a whole, collectively. I thought that they played really well. I think I mean, and that's kind of what Wilkes did really well last season as well, was the secondary played really, really well. And I think that sort of carried over this season as well. I mean, Green was really awesome. Demo continued to play really well. Ward played well when he was there, and I mean, understandably why he wasn't there for a lot of the season this year. I'm not shitting on him in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. So there's a whole article on ESPN about why his season was the way that it was this season, and God love that man. He went through absolute hell this season. So I mean, his life on the football field was just what it was this season, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But you know, the safeties played really well all season long. So I mean, like the problem was not the back end of the defense; it was all the front seven. This season was just not good, and that was the problem last year as well. And the problem is that we pay a whole lot of money into that front seven for them to not be good, and that's a problem. So
yeah.
I
mean, honestly, we're going to have a lot of time to talk about it. I mean, I'm trying to keep us in our time frame, and I agree with you that the defense definitely should be looked at first, because offensively, just once we get healthy, it should be fine. But we will hopefully by the time we're back on Friday, we can tell you if Nick Sorensen has his job or not, because we're supposed to have our press conference by then. But until then, and until we give you our parlay for Wild Card Weekend, we have to first tell you about our sponsor, RoyalRetros.com. They've been rocking with us for 2 years, and they will hook you up whether you're a fan of any of the major sports, football, basketball, soccer. They got you covered. And check out the Candlestick Collection. It is curated with the Bay Area in mind. So all of us 49ers fans, They got you covered too. And when you find something that you like, use the promo code Shady Sports and you'll get 10% off of your entire order. Again, it's promo code Shady Sports at royalretros.com. Go get yourself an authentic throwback jersey today. And again, use promo code Shady Sports for 10% off of your order. Ugh, got a little tongue-tied there. James, please tell everybody where they can buy our t-shirts.
So, guys, we've been trying to raise awareness about the lack of owner accountability in the NFL. You can go out there, you can search Houston Texans minority owner or Jed York, COO of the 49ers, and see some of the trouble that they've been in. And you've probably been like, oh, I didn't know about this, but I'm sure you heard about Tyreek Hill opening day getting arrested for a speeding ticket. So that's what we're coming at when we say that owner accountability is less than player accountability, and we need owner accountability in the NFL. And what we're doing to raise awareness for that is to sell these t-shirts, our t-shirts with our brand and our logo, so that charity money can go to Mountain Comprehensive Care Centers in Kentucky. And the reason why we picked them is because the Houston Texans minority owner was charged with very serious sexual crimes in Kentucky, and so we decided to help out that area, a crisis center that deals with that. So here we have our statement: owner standards are less than player standards, hashtag owner accountability. You can get that in different colors, different sizes, and different styles as well. Next up, we have our podcast logo art. You'll find this anywhere you watch us on YouTube or listen to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You'll find this logo there. $22.99 gets you that in a t-shirt. And you have different styles, different sizes of that. Then we have our alternate logo shirt. I have this shirt, very nice quality. $22.99 gets you that in a t-shirt, or we have different styles, different sizes. And last but not least, how can you say no to our 49er Niner Nut, a peanut sitting on the couch while eating peanuts while cheering on the San Francisco 49ers? $22.99 gets you that in a t-shirt. Get it today. Donate to Mountain Comprehensive Center. All the proceeds go to them, and everything that you need to know where to go is in the show notes.
Yep, just like James said, we don't want any money from these shirts. We want the proceeds to go help these women at Mountain Comprehensive Care Center. The link for more info on them, like he said too, it's in the show notes, along with the link to our Bonfire store. Well, we don't have a game to talk about next week, but we do have a lot of primetime games to talk about. The schedule's out there. Obviously, I'm most excited for the Bucks game. Eric, which one are you the most excited for? Because we know which one James is most excited for.
I mean, Ravens Steelers is interesting. I mean, it's a classic AFC battle. Those games are always sort of a head thumper. So kind of curious about that one, even though the Ravens are highly favored in that particular game. Also excited about your game, Commanders Buccaneers.
Absolutely. They're all going to be going across Saturday, Sunday, and then one Monday game. Guys, when we come back, we will have some sort of wild card parlay, and we will keep you posted when presumably Kyle and John give their State of the Union or State of the Franchise address as well, because I don't have a specific day, but it should be this week. Hopefully it's not on Friday, because we tape on Thursday and that'll piss me off, but so I can't do an emergency episode this weekend. But yeah, it's weird, but yeah, it's the first season where we're not talking about actual Niners in the playoffs, and it's weird. And once we start watching the games and start talking about them, I wanted to take this second to it's just a weird feeling. James and I was on top of the world when we started this, and now, yeah, I don't know. It's humble. It's humbling, and I feel like I've said it before, but like it's kind of, I don't know. Just try to not take those moments for granted, because when you do inevitably end up having a bad year like this, yeah, just humbling.
Yeah,
I mean, this could be a Browns podcast. I mean,
it could be.
No,
could be a Titans podcast.
With the Browns podcast, we can at least have a little bit more fun. Like, try to make a song out of the 40 quarterbacks that have been on the roster. We could have so much fun trying to do something with the 40 quarterbacks.
You're gonna have to keep us updated with that guy and his collection. I really want to know how that turns out.
I'll have to go through the post and be like, I want to find out keep up. So we'll see if that happens. But that's quite a lofty goal. I'm sure it will be inexpensive, no more than $20 to obtain it. But it's about the work that's got to go into it.
What's the most expensive card in the set? I mean, I don't even know what it would be.
If you're just doing base, the most expensive card, what?
It's probably like a couch rookie, right?
Probably
a couch rookie, a base couch rookie. You could probably get. The guy would probably take it. Just take it. Just take it.
But I mean, especially if you're collecting them in Browns jerseys, I mean, it's got to be like a couch rookie. That's got to be the only one.
Well, hold on. A signed Wheaton with a little bit of his jersey in it isn't worth a pretty penny now.
I mean, maybe a Manziel. Because he had a really good college career. Yeah. And there's a lot of people who, I would
pay $2 for a Manziel.
I mean, there's a lot of people who are college football fans that like buying, good college football players, even though they didn't really make it in the NFL in their draft jersey,
Yeah.
So John Manziel, I would if I had to take a guess, that would probably be the most expensive one that you could find, as far as when you're talking about base cards. So that might cost you $1.50. So
I love it. All right, hey, guys, we're gonna be back on Friday, like I said. Parlay, fill you in on the State of the Union, and just I don't know. We still got plenty of football to watch in this month, and it should be an exciting playoffs, even though we're not in it. But yeah. We'll be back then. James?
Eric Allen, Hall of Fame, outro music, River Road, Justin Youth.
Catch y'all later.
See you on Friday. Happy playoffs.
River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long. River Road, where have all the women gone? Have they kissed her hand and waved you bye-bye? Have they thought about crossing your double yellow lines? River Road, they love the